Betty, bring me everyone.
What do you mean, everyone?
Everyone! I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass.
Barry Manilow know that you raid his wardrobe?
Let me explain something to you. I am not Mr. Lebowski. You're Mr. Lebowski. I'm the dude.
No one is to stone anyone until I blow this whistle.
We can't fight in here. This is the war room.
Surely you can't be serious.
I am serious. And don't call me Shirley.
Okay, what's up everybody? Welcome back to the Zedos Game Podcast 141, episode 141 that is. Hello everybody, it's hot, let's get on with it. Okay, so the first topic, or the first thing, trailer that we have to view is Candyman. And this is a remake, or reboot, or follow-up to the... When did the original come out?
90 something.
Yeah, it was definitely in the 90s. I just can't remember when. So it's a follow-up. Okay, there you go. 92. And yeah, it's been online for about a week, but yeah, what do you guys think of it?
Yeah, I mean, this has been delayed a year, hasn't it, because of COVID? So,
it's supposed to come out
a long time ago.
Yeah, it's supposed to come out last year.
Yeah, but it was trailer 2 they dropped, wasn't it? And I'm looking forward to it. I think it looks good.
Surprisingly, it does.
It to be as violent as the trailer's showing you that it could be. But yeah, it ticks a load of boxes. So you know, some good talent in there. So yeah, I'm on board for it.
Yeah. What I found about it is that I thought it was going to go through the same tropes, but it does something slightly different, which I kind of respect it for, and it does look like it's going to be good. I went to it very cynically, so okay, here we go, Candyman, they're going to do the same thing, but yeah, it's actually quite detailed and interesting. So whatever they're doing with it, it looks, the trailers gripped me, and so I guess that's the important thing. Neil?
Man, I fall in love with this trailer every time I see it. I genuinely fall in love with the trailer every time I see it, because I'm like, as you guys know, I love horror.
Yeah.
My gosh, I'm like, it's so, to me, horror is so, it's so easy to do, but so easy to fuck up. And when you take something and you're like, oh, you know what, I'm gonna modernize it.
Yeah.
Right? When you're like, oh, I'm gonna modernize it, it can mess up so easy, because there are certain things that don't translate.
Yeah.
But I feel like what they did with Candyman, it's just from the trailer. I haven't seen the film, but just from the trailer, what they've done, yes, man. Make me drink more.
Just to hold you there, I'm hearing people. Yeah.
I think you might need to mute when you're not speaking.
Okay, yeah.
Oh, okay. It's okay. I wasn't sure where it was coming from. I thought it was coming from the window actually. Yeah. Sorry. Carry on, Neil.
Yeah, it's like I literally, the best way I can describe my feelings towards this Candyman trailer and the way it looks like the story's gonna go is the 2018 Halloween.
Right.
Like lined up perfectly. You took what was there, and you're just like, no, you know what? We're not gonna magically do some BS. This is what you loved, and this is what we're bringing back.
Yeah. It's not trying to rewrite history. It's this exists. These other things in between may not, but this first film exists, and within that realm, here's the next Candyman. And that's the way I feel about it as well.
Yeah.
And
they reference the original Candyman film.
Oh, that's what I thought it did. I did.
The original Candyman film, and like the kind of I think I don't know if you guys all saw the little puppet, the little kind of paper puppet.
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
Trailer. In that, they referenced the original Candyman. And I was like, yep, I'm down for this. I can't wait.
Yeah, it comes out September. Yeah, September.
Yes.
Yeah. Andreas, what did you make of this?
Yeah, I thought it was a really, really well-made trailer. Obviously, it's got a political edge to it, or a current edge to it, with the police who sort of killed the original Candyman, and then he was innocent. That's what they were saying in the trailer. Listen, the most disturbing thing I have seen in the horror genre, and the most sort of visceral thing I've ever seen, is Them. The series Them on Amazon Prime. You know, that shook me. That I haven't seen anything like that, and it really disturbed me. And it feels like this sits in that same world. You've got Jordan Peele as a producer, so he's going to have his sort of say in it. And I think it comes from this new voice in horror, a new it comes from it's different voices in horror,
different cultural voice.
It's a female director, and she's going to be directing Marvels or Captain Marvel 2, and
she's doing the Marvels, the TV series.
Yeah, was it the TV series? Oh, no, it's the film.
No, the movie. Sorry, the Marvels. Yeah.
So they must have seen something in her in this movie, and I'm really interested. And it is actually a spooky trailer.
Yeah, it is. It is. It's unsettling. It's
unsettling.
Yeah.
And brutal. So I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. Okay. Well, Satch, we haven't spoken to you about it yet.
Yeah, it looks really good, pretty solid. Near the Costa, I think her name is.
Yeah,
She's directed a few episodes of Top Boy. If you haven't seen Top Boy, check it out on Netflix.
Love Top Boy.
Really good series. I really enjoyed it. I watched that during COVID lockdown shit, and it was always a show I always heard a lot about, but I'd never seen it.
Love
and then I think Netflix did like the 3rd season.
Yeah,
which is the best season.
Yeah, and I just blitzed all 3 seasons, and yeah, man, good show. Really good British talent in there, all over the place, and it's not surprising that she would get a Marvel deal because they look for up and coming
She did the screenplay for this as well.
Yeah, so I mean, but back to this trailer, I really like the puppets. It kind of,
you weirdo.
Yeah, it gives you like the creeps straight away, and then that shot where the guy like falls and smacks boom on the floor. I was like, I wasn't expecting that at all, man. I was just like, oh shit, that was a money shot right there, and I was just like, oh man, this has got my attention. So we'll see how it comes along, man. What's it? Jordan Peele. Jordan Peele has his eye for good shit. So yeah, let's go.
Yeah. And from that onto another. Literally, we were just talking about it. Halloween Kills is the next trailer, and this follows on from that Halloween, the first Halloween. You get me. It follows on from the last Halloween film. This middle one's called Halloween Kills, and the last one's called Halloween Ends. Right, okay. And it's a good trailer. It's a really good trailer. It throws you right back into it. It gives Michael Myers kind of this almost like Jason. I guess he's always like Jason, but even more so now than ever. He's just powerful. he can survive fires and stuff. If you have someone like that coming for you, it's like the Terminator coming for you. But
she mentions in the trailer, doesn't she? Like every kill is like transcending to something else.
Right. So they've got a little bit of that maybe hint of a supernatural.
So I mean, I've seen obviously the Halloween films over the years. I mean, I remember watching like H2O.
Yeah.
I think I saw the last, not the I haven't seen the reboot.
What, Rob Zombie's one?
I saw the
I didn't see either of Rob Zombie's versions.
I saw something with you at the cinema.
Yeah, it was H2O.
I can't remember. I swear it was Halloween 2.
No, it'd be H2O.
I don't believe I've seen either of the Rob Zombie ones. Well, I might not. Okay. I mean, they might have blurred, but Yeah, from what my understanding is, obviously the 2018 one, basically they ignored the original sequel, and this is basically the direct sequel now to the original.
Yep.
Because
That's right.
in the it wasn't until the Halloween 2 that they kind of established that there was this brother-sister relationship. I think now, from what I understand, because I haven't actually seen the 2018 one, they've kind of disengaged that one now, that kind of thing, and it's not necessarily a relationship thing now. But having watched this trailer, and I remember watching the trailer for the 2018 one, saying, I really want to see this, just never got around to it. And after seeing this trailer, I went and downloaded 2018 straight away, because I'm just like, yeah, I need to see that now, because I want to see this. Yeah, really well put together trailer. And yeah, it's nice in the sense that you know another one's coming as well. There's the middle part of the story, but yeah, bare people are going to die. What am I going to say?
I mean, you see a glimpse of that. Yeah, sorry, go on, Angels.
Yeah, there's loads of kills in that trailer.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a good trailer. Maybe it gave away a little bit too much. Just gave away a light bulb. Yeah, but yeah, you see, with obviously Halloween's got the greatest horror theme ever made, in my opinion, with John Carpenter. So I watched Halloween the 2018 by myself. Like I was on some IT project, staying in a hotel.
Oh dear.
I don't know where I was, and I thought, you know what? It's out. I'm gonna drive. I'm gonna watch it. And I had to drive down this creepy long road to get there. So after the film, I'm driving back to the hotel, following the sat nav, like no lights. And I'm thinking, why have I done this? I'm really freaking myself out. And the first time I watched it, I thought, yeah, I don't know if I liked it, but I'm not quite sure. And then I watched it again on Netflix, and I thought, wow, that was actually a good film. You know, it was a good film. The best thing about it was Jamie Lee Curtis. You know, Satchel was talking about strong female characters. Like she's amazing in this. So because of the second time I watched it and the way it made me feel, I'm looking forward to it. It looks brutal. Yeah, I'll be watching it. It's the same creators, the same the same director and the same sort of writer director. So yeah, looking forward to it.
Again, another movie that's been delayed a year.
Yeah. Sorry, Neil, you haven't had your 2 cents yet.
Oh yeah. Well, Halloween is my all-time favorite horror.
The original.
The original. John Carpenter, 1978. That's chef kiss right there. And it literally, it set the tone. I know it's not technically the first ever slash movie, but it set the tone. There was no, like, you don't get Jason without Michael Myers.
Oh yeah, of course, yeah.
You know, it's what they did, as in like Danny McBride, and I forget the other guy's name.
Danny McBride? You mean
Yeah, the comedian Danny McBride. He's one of the writers of this.
No way.
Yeah,
oh yeah, that's right. He produced. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, him and the other guy, they together. I mean, it's hard when it's always very, very hit and miss and very dangerous to be like, we're gonna wipe the slate clean, especially when you're like, we're gonna wipe the slate clean from this point. I mean, we all thought we were gonna have a magical moment with Terminator Dark Fate, where they were like, okay, everything after Terminator 2 doesn't exist, and it was, you know, there are varying views on it. But with Halloween, I was like, okay, you're gonna start it fresh. You're gonna do it like, okay, here's the original film, and here's where we're going. And they did perfectly. They touched on these light little moments of, you know, oh, so there's the whole brother-sister angle. So we're gonna lightly circle around it, but we're not gonna confirm it. We're not gonna deny it. We're just gonna circle around it. So if you know, no. And what they did, I mean, because, you know, we look at films, I think when I think of horror movies, like franchise horror movies, there's only one that I could really think of that comes to mind that I think deals with kind of like PTSD. I think it's basically in the Scream series, because you know, but she basically gets smarter and smarter each film. You know, Because it's like you see the second film, she's got caller ID, so she knows exactly who's calling. And you know, as that goes on, but Jamie Lee Curtis was like, no, you know, Laurie Strode, you tried to kill her, you failed, and you turned her into Sarah Connor.
Right?
And it was like, you know, they're like, I mean, we're in 2021. It's been what, 4 or 5 years? It's been about 4 years since 2018 came out. If you haven't seen it, I'm disappointed in you. But more so, there's a moment in the film, and I won't spoil it because you know I know Ken hasn't seen it. But there's a moment.
I haven't seen it either, to be honest. Sorry, man.
Right? It's fun for this level of right? There's a moment in the film, and it's towards the end. And I know Andreas knows what I'm talking about. Gotcha. Right? Never, not one time in all the films, in all the times that I've watched horror films, never have I seen a moment and been like, that was the best moment I never knew I was waiting for.
Right.
Yeah, it was good. It was a good film.
See that moment come.
I love the I love the opening in the actual when the journalists go and visit him in that. The atmosphere.
Yeah.
Oh, is he in the mental asylum at this point? Okay.
Smith's Grove, the same one he breaks out of.
Right.
Back up in there.
Okay.
But it's like it deals with. There are so many aspects of it that are dealt with, and they are dealt with perfectly. And this trailer, I was like, I love it because it does harken back to the original Addams 2, which I know is not an amazing film. But it harkens back to it because of the fact that it's like, you know what?
There's some threads that are good.
We're going straight away. We ended, and right when we left Hughes, where we're picking up.
Okay.
And it does it, but just from the trailer, it looks like it's going to deal with themes that we can all kind of get into. You know, things like vigilantism, and you know what happens when you're like, oh, this intruder is coming to our neighborhood. So yeah, I can't wait. I got 2 jerseys of Halloween, and I can't wait to bring them boys out when it's cold.
You're definitely a fan, Neil. I didn't know that you. I thought you would have. I thought it would be Friday the 13th that would be your best one, but okay.
Michael Myers.
Not even
every Halloween except Season of the Witch on Blu-ray.
Okay, wow. Okay. A Season of the Witch. Is that got anything to do with Michael Myers?
No, we don't talk about that. That's just...
I think that was the third one, and they took Michael Myers out of it, and they were basically about this guy who made weird masks or some bullshit.
Right.
And then the fourth one, they made it back to Michael Myers, but they killed off Laurie off screen prior to the events of the film.
Oh, you don't do shit like that, man. That's well. Whatever the doubt, this film looks good. The trailer's good. I'm sold. I'm not sure. It comes out this year, right? September? Is it September, October?
Yeah. No, it's October.
Halloween.
October 15th.
Oh, okay. Literally Halloween then. Okay, keeping with that theme, Don't Breathe 2 is... there's been a long time in the making, because I remember when the first one came out, they were saying that it did so well, they started to follow up in the second one. I don't know how long ago that was, but it feels like a long time ago. But this trailer looks like it's put in like a Terminator 2 kind of parable, where he's the savior this time, or and the machine has become the savior, so to speak. And I kind of like that dynamic. I'm not sure if everyone will, but okay, that's an interesting spin. But interesting trailer, all the same. What did you guys think?
Zach, you go first.
Yeah, it's interesting. I didn't hate it, but like I wish I saw it in the movie than in the trailer, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I think I wish I'd went in fresh, kind of thing. I really enjoyed the first one. The first one was like probably my favourite in my top 10 of the year it came out. When I heard they were doing the second one, I was like, you know, part of me was like, do we really need to go back to the well because the first one was so good? But then, you know, it's a horror movie. Of course, you got to go back to the well. it's kind of what they do.
Yeah.
So you know, I see it's the same director, or I think he's producing this time. I don't know how much of an involvement him and Sam Raimi have on this one, but I'm interested to see where it goes. Yeah, it was an interesting trailer, and it was a good trailer. It's just I personally wish I never saw it, kind of thing. So yeah, that's my 2 cents on it. I'll definitely be checking it out. And Stephen Lang, you know, fucking G, mate. So yeah.
Andreas?
Don't Breathe was, in my opinion, one of the greatest films of that year. I've seen it about 3 or 4 times. In fact, if I love films that are lean 90-minute films that are contained. 90-minute films are just a dream to me. So if ever someone's around and they're like, "Oh, do you recommend anything?" I'll throw it on. Because it's like a roller coaster, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's like, come on, get out.
Yeah.
I loved it. Stephen Lang was amazing. So I was hearing rumblings of the sequel, and then I watched the trailer, and I'll be honest with you, I was a bit underwhelmed. It wasn't rubbish. It wasn't terrible. I'm with Satchar. It was just like, okay, kind of got so many different elements of different films that I've seen recently. The older, grizzled person sort of protecting the younger child. Yeah, interesting that they did that Terminator 2 spin of making the villain of the first. He wasn't villain. I mean, that was quite nasty.
Yeah, I know.
You know,
he was a villain.
Yeah, he was.
They broke into his house, bro. They weren't innocent.
He said that line, "I never touched her." Hey, I was like, the thing he did after that, I was like, "You're a villain."
Yeah, all right.
Yeah, like, you know, I can't redeem you.
Yeah, okay. So
the microwave.
Yes. All right. Look, to be honest, this is one of those that I'm gonna wait to see what people say about it before I decide whether I'm gonna go cinema. I will definitely watch it at home, but whether I decide whether I'm gonna park cash, go to the cinema and watch it, depends on reviews for this one.
This is one where I ask for my comps. Whoever wants to come.
Right. Yeah.
I'm asking for my hookups.
Okay.
Ken, what did you make?
I haven't seen the original film.
Oh, okay.
Good.
Yeah. So it's probably one I will watch. It looked fine, but it looked like all the people that he had to kill, we saw all the kills. So I don't know what left there is to see of this. You saw him kill everybody in the house, and then suddenly, you know, there seems to be maybe more people or whatever, but you saw those. Then you see him in the room where the wards are, which was cool. That was a nice visual. But they're all gone. It's like it screams of John Wick in terms of the amount of henchmen that are part of this crew. Suddenly there's this gang of like 15, 20 people trying to kidnap this girl. So I don't know the reasons why. I don't know if it links to the first in any way.
If you watch the first film, you may feel different.
Right, okay, so there you go. So we'll see.
You know what? It's a shame, man. I wish Ken could delete this whole trailer from his mind, man, because I really do think the first film is a film that you need to go in fresh. And it's definitely a film where if I had known that you'd never seen this, I wouldn't have even had you on this fucking podcast, bro.
It is a really good film.
It's definitely a must see. It's amazing. It's amazing.
Alright, I'll get around to it.
I say this: it's not like it's Star Wars or anything. I mean, it's
see this film.
I will admit it's a good film, but it's.
You didn't give Sal this much grief for not seeing Rocky. I mean, goddamn.
It's there is. Trust me, there is.
You know why we give Sal less grief? Because he hasn't seen any boxing movies.
Yeah.
Okay.
See one.
That's quite true, actually. I can't think of any other boxing movie other than Rocky that is worth watching.
Raging Bull.
Yeah.
Southpaw. I like Southpaw.
Southpaw.
I'm not seen Southpaw.
Creed.
I mean, it's part of the family. It's part.
Rocky,
it's part of the Rocky. Anything part of the Rocky family is immediately.
Grudge match.
Grudge match.
Yeah, you know what? I liked Grudge Match.
What's Grudge Match?
I thought it was the Rocky 7 we never had, man.
Oh, I heard that was awful.
No, it wasn't that bad.
Okay.
Stallone says it's his worst film.
Oh, wait.
Really? No, Mama Would Shoot is easily his worst film.
No, just in terms of how he felt in it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
No, he didn't. Okay, he didn't feel that was a.
Robert De Niro steals the show, so like I can understand that.
To be honest, I could picture both of him as a Rocky contender at one point. One point.
I mean, if they both made a film when he was doing the Raging Bull, maybe.
Yeah.
Now, I mean, back then, you don't have to say back then because that film was a while ago now. Yeah, maybe not. Anyway, moving on. The next trailer is The Green Knight. And this is where you get your mushrooms out or whatever psychedelics you have, because this is a weird one. It's very... this reminded me of the Fountain.
Yeah.
If you any of you guys have seen that, the film with Hugh Jackman and can't remember their name.
Aaron Aronofsky one, yeah.
Yeah. Very weird film. This trailer is trippy as hell. What is it about? Because I don't know.
It's like a story. It's like a later story to do with like the legend of King Arthur and stuff.
And did they all take mushrooms in this?
No, it's like a you know when it says like a not modern retelling, but it's like a retelling where they've been like, oh, you know what, we're gonna switch this up a bit, and we're gonna add.
The trailer told me nothing.
Yeah,
it's like a supernatural. It's like a supernatural retelling.
Right. Okay.
Okay. I didn't care for it at all. Not interested.
It's quite a hard sell.
I really like the aesthetic and the cinematography in this film. I don't know what it's about, but obviously it's some kind of fantasy tale, and I like the thing with the talking head. I was like, that kind of sold me a little bit. I don't know, man. I'll check it out, but it's not like high on my list, but it's definitely something that I'd probably look at, if that makes sense. But that's only because of like it had cool visuals for me, and plus I liked the way the cinematography was in this film because it was very distinct and different to anything that was out there. Because like they're dealing with fantasy, and when you think of fantasy, most studio movies just try to copy Lord of the Rings with their visual aesthetics, and I really rate the fact that they went, yeah, you know that shit, fuck that shit, we're doing our own kind of thing. And visually, I thought that's what stood out for me. So, and because it's an A24 film, I kind of think, you know, it's more of an indie film, so the director has a lot, you know, it's more a director's film. Fair enough, it's probably not the bestest trailer, but I must say, like, the visuals did capture me a little bit, and it's on my radar a little bit. Whether it'll be any good, I don't know. I can't. It's hard to judge, really, with that kind of trailer, but we'll see. Nice visuals, though.
Yeah, I again, this to me is like a oh gosh, it's almost David Lynchian, very bombastic in its visual style. It kind of plays with your head because you don't. By the time you get to the end of the trailer, it's like what? It's a bit of a. If there is another trailer before the 30th of July, they need to, the context needs to be added to it because I mean, this is coming out in the cinema, so that's brave. With the trailer that they put out for it, it's fucking brave. So
I imagine that more the cast that will draw people to watching this film than the what we've been shown in the trailer.
It's been directed by David Lowery, and when I'm looking at his filmography, I've liked every one of his films that I have actually seen. Ghost Story, really good film.
Is it good?
Yeah, it's pretty good, man. Old Man with the Gun, that was a really good film, because what I thought was hilarious about that film was Robert Redford, he made a big deal about how this is the film he's going to retire on, and he made a big statement about it, etc., forgetting that he filmed Avengers Endgame. They must have picked that up while he was filming, you know, Winter Soldier. Even I don't know how far in advance Kevin Feige has his plans, if that makes sense. But he must have filmed that before he filmed Man with the Gun, and because he made such a big deal that like this is my final film that I'm gonna like appear in. I don't know whether that's as a lead or what, but it just felt. Yeah, it just felt the statement felt so final, and then he shows up in Endgame literally like a year later. I was like, that's too funny, man.
Yeah,
but,
so David Lowery, he actually wrote and edited it as well.
Okay.
But it's based on a 14th century poem.
Interesting.
Oh, so it's like Beowulf almost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm guessing so. Yeah. I mean,
Pete's Dragon was a surprise as well. I mean, like, you know, out of all the Disney like remakes, I've really enjoyed that one. Yeah, it was pretty good and unexpected as well. So he's a solid director. So be interesting to see what this is a little bit. So I do like his previous stuff. So
yeah, I mean, I hope it's something because you know we're due a nice, good fantasy movie. Do you know what I mean? So but for me, just the trailer didn't do anything for me.
Yeah, marketing, you suck.
It's probably look, just being an insider into the marketing of things. It's probably not any of the guys doing the trailer. It's probably a producer saying, "Hey, can you take this out, put this in? It has to be like this." And it's probably director, because with indie films, when we were doing Ill Manners, that guy was in what's his name, something Green. He was in all the time. Yeah, he was in all the time, saying, "Could you make it more like this, or could you do this? Could you do that?" And he had full control of what that trailer looked like. So I'm guessing he has full control over it.
The thing about A24 films, because it's A24, they never really market it to your masses. Like all the trailers. Like if you've seen the trailer to Ghost Story.
Yeah.
Like,
that's odd. It's super odd.
And I mean, like my son, who. You know, this is his most anticipated movie because he loves all that artistic.
Right.
Like, you know, he's all about the way something looks visually.
Right.
If the story makes sense or not, and visually it does look amazing. Like I can't lie. But I'm with you, like, what is it about? Don't know. But I like the leads. I'll probably go and watch it with him. If it wasn't for him, I probably wouldn't watch it. But. Yeah.
Again,
the early reviews for Green Knight are very good, actually.
Okay.
Oh, really?
Okay.
Very good. Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's good. I mean, just for the fact that it's coming out in cinemas and fairly shortly.
Couple of weeks.
That describes confidence. Because bringing anything in the cinema now, is this going to make money? Yep. and so. Confidence is a good thing.
Huge praise for Dev Patel as well.
Right. Local boy.
Yeah, I'll be watching it on the big screen, but only because I'll be going with my son.
Yeah. Well, you never know. The only way your expectations can go is up because it's kind of you don't know at the moment. Yeah. So if it's a good film, that's a bonus. You've gone to see a film with this. Yeah. Okay, on to the next topic. Trailer. Addams Family 2. I've not seen the original. And I'm slightly bemused by this one, but yeah, I'm gonna let you guys have at it. What do you make of it?
I'll tell you what I thought. The bit with the voodoo doll made me laugh so much. It basically I had an idea for a whole horror movie about a voodoo doll and with ragdoll physics, and that bit just made me go, that could work. That could really work and be something special. Outside of that, standard kids film. Surprise Snoop Dogg is in it, and now that you know that Snoop Dogg is voicing Cousin It, you can see that they've made some visual choices, like to go, yeah, it's Snoop Dogg, even though it's a bit pointless.
They did that in the first one too.
Was he in it in the first one? Oh, okay, fair enough. I haven't seen the first one, but I mean, Addams Family. You know, this one's just aims at children that never really saw the original and stuff. Obviously, it was popular, so yeah, more of the same, I guess. I mean, like, would I watch it? Not really. But if it was Christmas Eve and they were playing it, like with all the other kids' stuff, it's got my attention. So we'll see, man. In 5 years' time, when I've actually seen it.
If I'm honest, I feel like the Addams Family remake is really and truly just a reaction to Hotel Transylvania.
Yeah. I could totally agree with that because
that is actually a really good series of films.
Yeah.
And I think that it's just like they were like, oh wow, this is really good. This is popular right now. Let's try and make it ourselves. And they were like, well, we got the Addams Family. Ha, perfect.
One second. Andreas, do you have like a TV on in the background?
1 second, guys.
Okay. Sorry, man. I didn't mean to move you from your room.
No problem.
Okay.
Room 2, is that better?
Oh, yeah, that's right. But you've moved part from your fan now.
It's fine. It's cooler here.
Okay. All right. Okay. Oh, I'm sorry, dude. Sorry, Neil. Were you?
Yeah.
Saying something?
It's just like I said. It's just very, very reactionary to it, and I think the problem is that the Addams Family, like the original show, the Addams Family, and the original movies. So, you know, Addams Family with Raul Julia, Angelica Houston, Christina Ricci, those two movies and that TV show appealed to a very, very... They had a broader appeal than this remake. Because, you know, it was like it could be marketed to a wider range of people because it was very specific at the time. Everyone knew who the Addams Family were. You know, it was like before the film came out. If somebody went a lot of people were like, you know, you just knew. Whereas nowadays, you know, the 2020s, we're in a world where things are far different now. We've got so many different versions or things that harken back to the Addams Family, the Munsters, where an Addams Family film will just get lost in the shuffle.
Just like how many Jokers there are.
Doing an Addams Family TV series with Netflix.
Yeah,
so, and
that's right. That's something that I'd be interested in exploring. I know originally it was going to cast Johnny Depp as Gomez, but I don't know what's happening there now. But yeah, I didn't see the first animated one. Haven't seen the trailer, so I've got nothing to add really.
Yeah, it must have done well for them to do a sequel. I mean, you know what? Neil made a fair point about Hotel Transylvania, but Hotel Transylvania, I mean, like, you've got, what's his name? Genndy Tosuke, who's like a legend in animation. I mean, like, that guy, everything that guy has done is gold, basically. From Powerpuff Girls, because he's the Powerpuff Girls guy. He also did Samurai Jack. He also did Star Wars, the Clone Wars, the Cartoon Network version, the 2D version, the one that everyone fucking loves. And you got, what's that? Oh, what else you got? There was something else he did recently, which was more adult rated. Primeval with the cavemen and the dinosaurs on Adult Swim. I don't know whether you've ever seen that.
Yeah, I've seen it.
Trailer for
that's a nut show, man.
Yeah, it's nuts.
And every time he does animation, especially movies as well, he always sticks with this same sense of humor. And he's got a large fan base where people are like, okay, I want to see the next, you know, animation buffs are like, I want to see the next one of that. And obviously, Hotel Transylvania has done so well that it's spawned off like X amount of sequels, you know. And the weird thing is, each one is actually good, because I remember when I saw the first trailer for the first one of that, I was like, I'm not too sure about this, you know what I mean? But then when I saw the actual movie itself, it blew my mind. I was like, this is actually really funny. And then when I saw who actually directed it, I was like, that's why, you know what I mean? So
There's another one coming out this year, I think.
Yeah, the third one, right?
No, the fourth one.
Fourth one. Okay. But with this Addams Family, you've got like about 3 directors on it, and you know, one of them's like the director of Shrek 2 and 3, and like, you know, yeah, I don't know, man. We'll see, man. We'll see. This is one time will tell, but yeah.
Yeah.
I just want to know, we're still talking about the Addams Family trailer, because
yeah.
2 words, fuck off. As soon as I saw it, I was like, no. I've got no time for that shit.
Yeah, I thought
I'm sure the kids will like it. It did not do nothing for me.
It's very centric to a particular audience. It's very. Doesn't seem to be any give with it. So
honestly,
yeah.
No, I put it in the same.
Yes, man, you like widowed that shit, boy.
Yeah, same Minions bin all that. If I see minions, anything like that, I'm like, oh, just get out my face. I did watch the trailer in preparation for the show.
Yeah.
And it was painful. It was a painful 2.5 minutes.
It's okay. Well, moving straight on, Snake Eyes. So this is the final trailer, as Marvel are calling it. I didn't see this, so what did you guys think?
You know what? I think my problem.
Anything that so? Do you know what? Problem is that it's really bad. Everyone has frozen. I can't. Okay, on my side, everyone's frozen.
Okay. I think
anyway, take it away, Neil.
I'm back.
Neil, tell us.
I'm back.
Watch trailer.
Yeah. That's me. I know nothing.
It looks serviceable, but it's sort of like the way I can do it is this, like, it feels like a lukewarm version of Solo.
A lukewarm version of a lukewarm film.
Like, I had issues with Solo, and one of my issues was the way they took what was essentially supposed to be like the key moments, the tempo moments of Han Solo's career, and just kind of flung them in at like, oh, here you go, and it was like this final trailer. Like, okay, if you know G.I. Joe, you know guys and their Storm Shadow, and they are like they're bumping heads, they each other's arch rivals and stuff. And like, okay, cool, that's what you know. Why do I know this, and why is that in the trailer?
What was that? A spoiler?
Final trailer. That's a big. If you know the character, that's a big spoiler. And I'm like, why is that in the trailer? And it's the last bit of the trailer. It's like, okay.
It's the button, is it?
Yeah.
It's like, okay, we've sold you the trailer, but just in case. I'm like, why would you do that? And then obviously it's like there is one.
That was the equivalent of like spoiling a Marvel cameo.
Yeah.
Right.
That was a total. Yeah.
And the thing is, what makes it less well is from my knowledge, from my memory, because you know we are going quite far back, and I could be wrong, but from my memory,
he doesn't take his helmet off.
He never
takes his helmet off.
He never takes his helmet off and never speaks.
And when he does, he's a white guy because he was American that went to Japan to study the arts of ninjutsu and shit. And they were like, no, we're taking that. He's an Oriental guy, and he's going to have his helmet off the whole time. And that's probably the biggest thing the G.I. Joe fan base like really hate about this. You know, they're just
like Dread.
Yeah, it's like Dread, but like
like when Stallone used to would take. Okay, I get that.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm totally with Neil. If you're a casual fan that doesn't know anything about G.I. Joe, you got to understand. In the 80s, especially early 80s, you had two sets of action figures. You had Star Wars action figures. You had G.I. Joe action figures, and they used to go well in the toy box for some weird reason. Mainly because they had like.
I had Action Man. Wasn't Action Man?
No, Action Force was G.I. Joe. It was called Action Force over here, but it's called G.I. Joe in the States. Yeah.
I had Action Man,
Yeah, so like Snake Eyes, popular character, they do the origin film, and it's like, you know, for starters, no one really wants an origin film of fucking Snake Eyes. The best thing about Snake Eyes was that he was a mystery. You know what I mean? And you know what? Yeah, those two G.I. Joe films that came out, they were dog shit, but the one thing they got right, the only thing they got right was Snake Eyes. And yeah, I think it's a case of marketing at these studios just clearly looked at it going, oh shit, Snake Eyes, we might have another Deadpool on our hands. And
what?
No, you know what? He's right. He's right.
Yeah, because like that's what happened. That's what happened with Origins.
And swords, and looks a one-piece outfit with guns and swords.
Yeah. But the guy doesn't talk. The difference between Deadpool and this guy is one guy talks, one guy doesn't.
Yeah,
doesn't shut up and one guy doesn't.
But put this way,
Yeah.
Snake Eyes said a hell of a lot in all of these trailers than he's ever done in the whole of his whole G.I. Joe career on planet Earth, like, regardless. So,
But the funny thing is, right?
yeah.
Now, I know that they're not amazing movies, but G.I. Joe and G.I. Joe Retaliation, right? If you look at those two movies,
The second one's
you look at
bad.
Snake Eyes, right? And you
No
look at Snake
thanks.
Eyes in the movies, right? Here's the thing. Snake Eyes, in the first G.I. Joe, doesn't say a word. He shouts as a child before his vow of silence, right? He doesn't even speak before his vow of silence. All you hear is a lot of grunting and screaming and yelling. I'm like, your trailer has him, exactly what Sash said, the trailer has him speak more than, what, 4 hours of film and countless hours of animated TV?
Well, yeah. I mean,
Well, let me add a.
It's supposed to be the origins, though, isn't it? So isn't that the point?
no, but as a kid,
Doesn't speak from childhood. So him as a
From
grown
childhood.
man,
yeah.
From childhood.
Well, they're going to have to mention that in the movie, aren't they? So
It's-
have to see how they handle it.
If you want the opinion of someone who doesn't know anything,
Yeah.
anything about any of this, it just looked like a cool little action film. But then again, you know, this is the first time I know that this Snake Eyes guy shouldn't have spoke, or that he was an American who went to. So, but I like the lead actor. I think he's a good actor. I loved him in The Gentleman.
Yeah.
The action looks pretty cool. I don't know if I'd go cinema. I'd watch it at home. It's a rental for me. So far.
Yeah, that's kind of how I feel. It looks a little bit like a straight to DVD kind of movie, but I'm not bothered about it. Not particularly a fan of the franchise.
No, not after the Retaliation. I'm done.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of the franchise, and it is what it is.
Yeah.
The last thing that a movie had origins on it was one of the worst films I ever saw. So
Wolverine.
we'll see.
Okay.
It's funny, right? Because when you said you were done,
Yeah.
the first thing that went to my mind was, you know what? Channing Tatum was so done, he was like,
Yeah,
man was like, look, if you kill me, I'll be in the film.
Yeah, if you
15-minute time limit.
That's the only thing I remember about number 2. That he
He was just
died
like,
in the first.
I'll have a day rate and then I'm out.
yeah.
You know what? Funnily enough, that's not actually what happened. His career was on the ropes while they were making that film. The studio dropped his character completely, from the script originally, and then I think it was Magic Mike that came out, or there was a movie that came out that basically put him on the map. Because before it was
Magic
just
Mike.
Yeah, I think it might have been Magic Mike. Put him on the map, like literally put him on the map, and said he was an A-lister and yes, he can act. And then the minute that happened, they did reshoots and brought him in just to kill him off. Because obviously they'd made the decision to make The Rock the new face of the franchise, and they were like, we'll
That clearly worked.
Yeah, it was supposed to be a third G.I. Joe film, but that got moved as Snake Eyes got put in this release date. So it's supposed to be a third G.I. Joe film. Apparently, The Rock is interested in coming back, but
I wouldn't.
You know what it is? You know
The
what
Rock
it is?
is a very smart guy. He's
He's
he'll
a businessman.
He'll just be like, yeah, I'll come back. If it's a hit, it's because of me. If it's a flop, yeah, whatever. You know what I mean? I've got like so many irons in the fire that it ain't gonna matter. You know what I mean? There's no skin off his nose. You know, he is the brand. You know.
Well, that's the thing. The Rock is bulletproof. Of most people, right? He is. And you can think there are not that many actors or performers in Hollywood who you can say they are career-wise bulletproof. You could be in the most dog shit movie, and then like your career is like you're in limbo, you go down. The Rock is like, you can put me in anything, and if it's shit, I'll steal the show. If it's good, I'll steal the show. And if it's great, I might let someone else have it. Right?
It goes back to what I said the other week. I'm not sure whether it was a Creative Control podcast or this one. That's really what's upsetting about The Rock for me. It's like, we all love The Rock. You know what I mean? We love watching him in movies. But when you look at his filmography,
to be honest, I love watching when he's wrestling. He's a better actor.
Yeah,
but his films make money.
I know. I'm not holding that against him. I just prefer watching him when he's wrestling.
Filmography against like a lot of other action stars and actors out there, it's actually piss poor.
I don't like the Rock. I'll tell you now, I don't like most of The Rock's movies. I think they're all shit. Honestly, I don't. I think he's good. I watched Hobbs and Shaw. I told you. So I've seen no Fast and Furious. I watched Hobbs and Shaw, and I thought his charisma and Jason Statham's were brilliant. I loved the way they hated each other.
Yeah.
When they became friends, I hated it.
It's like
frenemies.
It's like this. Like when I think of Stallone, I think of Cobra. I think of Rambo. I think of Rocky. I think of Judge Dredd. I think of fucking Demolition Man, Cliffhanger. Do you know what I mean? That is fucking gold. Yeah, he's had some flops along the way, but the good, he's got like.
But the good is exceptionally.
Yeah. Then when I think of Arnold Schwarzenegger, I think Commando. I think of Terminator. I think of Predator. Running Man. Do you know what I mean? And it's like when I think of The Rock, I think of Welcome to the Jungle. I think of
what's that other one?
Walking Tall. I think of Snitch, and now I'm running out of movies. That's not really Pain and Gain, but no, because he's not top bill. He's shared. It's shared.
All right, okay. If you're talking about top bill, his biggest thing is probably Moana.
Yeah, that's a Disney film. That doesn't count.
Well,
but he's not just trying to say he's an action star, though, is he? He will go and do anything. So like he's doing Jungle Cruise, he's doing Red Notice for Netflix, he's doing Black Adam, he's the voice of Crypto, he's got San Andreas 2, he's got Doc Savage, he's got Big Trouble in Little China. So yes, he's got a lot of action movies going on at the moment because of his physique and where he is in his career-wise. And then we'll probably move off into some other stuff because he was trying to be the actor at the beginning. And now he's riding this train because it's like that's what's making
my point is, most of those films are shit, and the ones that are good, they're ensemble pieces.
Here's the thing. Here's a question for you, though, right?
I'm talking about actual good, solid.
Even though those films aren't great, is he bad in them?
No, he's not bad in them at all. That's not what my point. My point is.
What is your point?
Where he elevates, where he rises above a lot of other people, including some of the actors that you named. We say Stallone and something like, is that his presence alone shines. It doesn't shine enough to save a movie, but it shines enough that you're like, oh, what, The Rock's in this? Okay, maybe I'll watch it. And even if when you go away and the film's done and you move away from it, you think back and you're like, did I like this movie? No, or probably not. I'm like,
but I liked him. No. I think me and Sacha agree.
I'm not disagreeing with that.
This is exactly what his point is, and that's mine. Like Hobbs and Shaw as a whole, the film was like, but I like The Rock, and because you like The Rock. Just generally,
I think also action movies have changed. The Schwarzenegger.
I'm not just talking about action, Cam. Because I named Stallone, but look at Rocky. Look at Cliffhanger. Cliffhanger's more a thriller than an action. You know what I mean? It's a very different.
It's an action thriller.
Yeah. So like, I mean, I just can't put 5 films where I go, this is The Rock, and this is why you need to see The Rock. I can name 2, maybe 3 with Snitch. Was it Snitch? Where's the one where his son,
I don't fucking know.
Where his son is, that was a good film. That was a damn good film. Maybe Grid and Gang. maybe Griffin Gang. Yeah, maybe that one. But even then, that's a stretch.
But here's the thing. Here's what the thing is. I don't know you weren't just talking specifically about action movies, but those are the two people you named. I will utilize them as to...
Oh, yeah, sure. I could have watched anyone out, but yeah.
Schwarzenegger, with those two, more Schwarzenegger than Stallone, because we know Stallone did he did a number of things before he got like pushed to the front of the forefront, is both of them were pretty much immediately stars.
Yeah,
right?
He had to grow.
He's had to grow, because we're forgetting, like, this is the same guy who's in Be Cool.
Yeah.
This is the same guy who was in one of the Star Trek shows. I think it's Voyager, right?
Southland
Tales.
Yeah,
Southland Tales. This is the same guy who was the Scorpion King. Like, you know, he's had a good number of duds, but at the same time, I feel like he's learned who he is and what he can do, and he's now pushing that to the forefront, right? Which is because he can be that big guy, but he's big and hilarious. He's got a comic timing that, I mean, yes, biased fan, I'll say he has skills that a lot of these other actors don't have, because they, you know, come up in the WWE where you having to do this shit live.
Yeah, but I'm not disagreeing with that. Yeah, I'm not disagreeing with any of those points, dude. I'm totally not. I'm just saying.
I don't even know what your point is yet.
Neil, I'm just saying. I wish he had the filmography of killer app movies where I'm like,
like Schwarzenegger.
There's not one Rock movie that I'd recommend to anyone.
Yes.
Okay, I didn't know what your point was.
That was my point. I thought I illustrated.
No, you didn't, because you never got to the end of it.
Yes, we all agree.
Okay, cool. Yeah, all right. That's my point. I'm waiting for the string of Rock movies that.
That ain't never gonna happen.
No, it will.
It's gonna be Black Adam.
Yeah, I hope it's Black Adam. I really hope it's Black Adam, because if it is Black Adam, that's gonna be amazing. But here's
how do you know it's gonna be amazing?
I said I hope.
How do you know it's gonna be amazing?
Shazam was amazing.
Okay.
He was a producer of Shazam, so if he loves the character as much as he says he does, hopefully we've got a killer app product. But I'm praying.
One of his highlights is Ballers.
Yeah, Ballers is good for if you like.
That's a good series.
If you like American football, yeah, it's good. It's good. We lost Andreas.
He'll be back, right? Okay.
yeah, he's back.
I had to just refresh the page. That's better.
Oh, okay.
Neil. It was like moving, and you three were just like.
Oh, right.
Why isn't Neil frozen? It was unfreezable.
I was talking good about the Rock,
Yeah. Listen. I think we all agree on that point.
Yeah.
Say and you said it right. He elevates an average movie, and we all love The Rock. We just wish.
Oh yeah, I love The Rock.
That those films that you can just say like a Running Man that stands the test of time. But anyway.
Yeah. I blame Sats for bringing that up. Anyway, moving on to the main topics, and that is Antonio Banderas has been cast in Indiana Jones, and as far as I'm concerned, that's great. I love Antonio Banderas. As talking about charisma, he's another actor that he's a good actor and he has charisma.
That voice, man.
Yeah, and
it depends on what he's doing.
That's true.
Some things he shines, some things it falls flat. So I just saw Hitman's Wife's Bodyguard.
Yeah.
And he was poor in that.
Oh, really?
It was just a phone-in,
Oh, right, okay. Villain of the week.
Yeah, and it's just a case of, if you get that Antonio, then that's not great.
Right.
But if you get what he can deliver, then he could be a great addition. And the talent that's in that film, I hope he doesn't detract from it, because there's some amazing talent already in that movie. So hopefully he's going to lift it rather than bring it down.
Yeah. I mean, I hear about the Indiana Jones every week now. There's always something going. And it's the fact that a lot of it's been shot in this country is, I guess, is a new one for. Yeah, because you just hear about it every week. Andres, what do you think about this news? Do you like Antonio?
Yes, I mean, I've liked Antonio since I saw him in Desperado.
Yeah.
I was a fan of him since then. I haven't sort of seen a lot of his films recently, to be honest. It's just one of those actors that I'm more interested in. I wouldn't even be interested in this film if it wasn't directed by who it was directed.
Right.
James Mangold gave me the greatest film I've seen in 20 years with Logan. Logan is a masterpiece for me. I've never had such a reaction to a film. When I was in that cinema, and I've seen Hugh Jackman play Logan for how many years?
20 years.
Seeing him, like that opening scene where he's just cutting up those guys.
Right next to the limo, right?
And the way it was just like, I was just like, Jesus Christ, like this, what is this? I love that film so much. So because James Mangold's directing this Indiana Jones film, that's the only reason I'm interested. I'm not interested in anything else about it, whether it's Antonio Banderas, the Harrison Ford woman, that's what keeps me interested.
Right.
What if The Rock was in it?
If The Rock was in it,
he's the big guy, Indy has the face. No?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, he's always got a big guy that he has to feet up.
Let's go kill some Nazis, Germany.
So that's what keeps me interested.
Right.
Antonio Banderas is cool.
It's a bonus. It's a bonus more than anything. Okay. Satch, what do you make of the news?
Surprise casting, man. I love Antonio, man. I love that he's got work. So good for him.
I don't think he's hard up for work, dude.
No, he's in the Uncharted movie as well.
Well, he's the best thing about that movie automatically. Okay, so we'll see how that turns out. But back to Indy, you know what? As much as people poo-poo on it, I'm giddy as a school kid.
Who's poo-pooing on Indiana Jones?
There's loads of people, man. But like most of the people here, man, like Ken's got a disapproved look. I know Neil has.
No, I'm game for it. I'm just intrigued to how they're going to do it because the time that it's set, it looks like 1950s, 60s. I just don't know how it's going to fit. So whether it's flashbacks, they can do CGI. We've seen this costume.
They are doing CGI on Ford because they've got loads. They've got some stuff from the 30s, and the scenes with the 30s. That's some of the stuff that Ford shot, which the son took pictures of, and he's got all the track markings.
I don't know, how much of the movie it is.
Yeah.
So they de-aging him a lot and then using stunt doubles. Are we ever going to see him like modern day? So is it something they're going to try and wrap his story up? It's just really interesting to see what they end up doing with it.
I mean, if they've got Mangold, sorry Neil, if they've got Mangold doing it, I'm guessing they're getting him for the same vein because of what he did with Logan.
Because you know what, the CGI in Logan, a lot of people don't think about the CGI in Logan at all. And that's because CG in Logan was so good. Because they had Hugh Jackman's stunt double do a lot of stunts in that movie.
Even the driving.
Yeah, so you guys seen the clip with the driving? Okay, so he's driving the car. It's not Hugh Jackman. It's a stunt double. And they face replace the guy's face.
Wow.
And the CG is so good. I didn't know that it was him. And I've seen that film a bunch of times. And I didn't know that it was a CGI thing until I saw the digital breakdown, and I was like, no, I even now it's literally flawless. And plus, ILM have done some good stuff with the because they got the Marvel contract, and I think what the job they did on Samuel L. Jackson was pretty good, and he was in that quite a lot of the movie. I'm not even gonna roll past that it might be young Indy kind of thing, mainly because of all the Nazi memorabilia that we got. They're clearly not going after the Russians, but it all depends what they do, because like the stunt double recently was wearing grey hair, so maybe it is a little bit in the past, a little bit.
If they go to Argentina, it'll be set in the 70s because a lot of them fled to Argentina.
Yeah. So we'll see how it goes, but I'm really looking forward to it now. Especially now, I'm praying that you're
intrigued about where it's going.
Is Banderas playing a bad guy?
Nobody knows.
Yeah.
Nobody knows who's playing who.
As long as he's not playing a Nazi.
He won't get that.
That'd be an interesting turn of phrase.
Spanish guitar.
Yeah. That would be different. Yeah, they're very different for Indy. Sorry, Neil, you were going to say something and I completely cut you off.
About to bury us all now.
No, I'm not. I mean, my opinion of Logan, it will never change.
Yeah.
Which is what? Are we going to fall out?
I'm sorry, Andreas. I'm sorry, Andreas. I'm with Neil on this as well.
Yeah, they're both crazy. They're both crazy.
I like aspects of Logan. Like I love the first hour.
Let's just stop it.
Let's move on.
I think it's a solid win because I can with that cast I cannot imagine Antonio Banderas being like the weak link in that cast.
No.
Right. And when you say, I mean, Joe, you brought up a very good point when you said that. If it's set like Iran, you know, the late 60s, 70s, then if they're in Argentina, because that's where a lot of Nazis fled to, and I'm like, Argentina? Antonio Banderas?
Right.
I'm like,
I
can see a correlation.
You see, you see the cross-pollination and that.
I can see a correlation.
Right.
I'm like, I have no doubt. And I'm like, yeah, Crystal Skull was what it was, but like, you got 4 films and 1 is a dud. Like, you guys are still riding high.
True.
Yeah.
When you got 9 films and you got 3 is duds, then we got problems.
Yeah. But yeah, again, he's talent. He's if I don't from who they've hired in terms of actors, it's all good as far as I'm concerned. I just hope when we get to the end result, if it's better than the Crystal Skull, that's a win. So that's all I'll say to that.
Already better than the Crystal Skull.
Well, yeah, we'll see. We'll come to the first trailer and we'll see. Okay, on to the next topic, and that is Clerks 2. So Clerks 3. So not Miramax. God, what's the cover? Lionsgate. Thanks, man. Lionsgate just bought because I know there was like some kind of licensing, which is why you couldn't make it at one point. And now it's under one banner. They're going to start shooting Clerks 3 next month. Is it next month or this month?
Yeah,
next month.
It's already in pre-production and they start filming next month.
Right.
This is just it. Okay, so regardless on who was who held the rights, etc. He was going to try and make this movie by hook or by crook, regardless.
That's easier now.
He's been talking about it for the past 15 years. He had one version of the script, and it was all ready and stuff to go. The reason why two reasons why it never went off the ground. One, Weinstein was always honeydecking him. You know what I mean? Because Weinstein doesn't care about Clerks. He hasn't really even seen the movie. When that movie came out and he practically gave Kevin Smith his career, his assistant was the one that said it was good, and Weinstein was like, really, that's good? I think it's shit. And like, no, his assistant championed Clerks, and Weinstein bought it and it became what it became. When it came to Clerks 2, he only did that because he felt, your other movies has made a little bit of money for me, they've brought their budget in, why not? And when it came to the third one, he was just like, you know what I mean? They're not like MCU movies, you know what I mean? So he just, depending on Weinstein's mood, whatever. But Smith wrote a script years ago, and aside from the Weinstein issues or whatever, all the cast signed off on it except for Randall Graves, the character of Randall Graves, and mainly because, like, what he's been saying for years is this is Randall's movie kind of thing. And because that guy didn't sign off on it, he was like, well, I can't make Clerks 3 without that guy. You don't recast any of those guys. You know what I mean? And he decided to rework the script recently and go, right, this is it. And he's had a draft of this for quite a while. He's had loads of drafts for it, but it's a passion project for him. You know what I mean? He's always said he wanted to do 3, and you know, we'll see what happens, man. I've been looking forward to this for years, man. So I've been calling for Clerks 3 since I saw number 2, and I can't wait. I can't wait, and I'm glad Lionsgate is a very good company, you know, for something like this. They know they try, you know, they revel in low budget features and mid budget range stuff.
Subsidiary of Warner Brothers.
It's a no wonder they bought the Clerks rights or the Kevin Smith films, because they see potential in the cult status there, and that, you know, they're very good at marketing stuff like that and making hits out of them, whether it be for streaming or whether it be for, you know, in theaters and stuff. So yeah, we'll see how it goes, man. But yeah, I've got confidence it's gonna be good. It's fucking Kevin Smith, man. Who didn't like Jay and Silent Bob Reboot here? Come on.
I've not seen it yet.
Come on.
It's great. Yeah, like you said, he's been, you know, wanting to do this movie for ages. The whole thing's being shot on location in New Jersey. Basically the premise of the story is that Randall suffers a heart attack, very much like Kevin Smith did, and basically he gets all his friends together to help him make a movie about working in a convenience store.
Do you know what's different? You know what's different from the original script? Everything except the heart attack.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm glad. You know what? I think the heart attack puts more depth into it.
Yeah.
And also, and because like it's more or less where they would be in their time now. And if you think about the Randall character, he's worked in a fucking convenience store his whole life. You know what I mean? And if it's anyone that should make a movie, it would be Randall. So let him pursue his dream, man. I want to see this movie, man. I really do. And it kind of speaks out to me. So you know.
Okay. Has anyone else ever? Because I think Satch said everything that could be said about it.
Who hates it? Come on, shit on it.
I love Clerks, and I really enjoyed Clerks 2 as well. At first, when I read the thing, I thought, why can't Kevin Smith just do a new? Remember, I sent you a message, like just saying, why can't he just do another idea? But Satch has just sold it to me. I'm with you.
Oh, okay.
He's a guy who makes movies with his friends, you know.
But the problem is
doing that.
I didn't like. I started watching the Jay and Silent Bob reboot, and I just got bored. I turned it off. I just didn't like it. And you know, I was big into all of that scene back then.
Back in the day,
I'm just maybe, you know,
moved past it.
Moved on.
maybe I have. I don't know. Just that particular one, but.
Yeah.
I mean, those characters are quite juvenile. I mean, when
Sasha and I saw it with Chris and Leo, and I think when you see with a group of friends who you've seen the other movies with, your experience is different.
It's true.
I remember watching Clerks 2 with Satch, and we were in screen 6.
It was me, you, and Chris. Me, you, and Chris.
Sorry, Ken. What's the screen to the? Do you know when you walk down the
Screen 5?
Screen 5. Yeah, Screen 5.
Yes.
Old school Screen 5.
Yeah.
Screen 5. Yeah, we were in old school Screen 5 in Harrow, and we had the loudest laughs in that screen. We were dying in there.
I love the way you hijacked my story, though. Never mind.
I just keep thinking. You know what? When he starts going pillow pants story, I cry with laughter, man. That is so jokes.
The Lord of the Rings thing, but it's good, man. It's good. It's very good. And I think because there were a lot of people to rein in Jay and Silent Bob, because they're in it, but they're not in it, if you know what I mean. And when they have moments like that, when they're just like in certain moments, I think that's how I can experience them now. I haven't seen Jay and Silent Bob Reboot yet, but I have a feeling
stronger when there's less of them.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Anyway, moving on. I'm going to move on now because we're getting on time here.
Guys,
you've got the bounce, have you?
Yeah, I'm gonna bounce now. So,
Okay.
It's cool, man. It's cool.
Thanks for.
Thank you for having me. Number one.
Always a pleasure, man.
Yeah.
Just let me know when there's the next one.
Yeah. Of course, man. Thanks for coming on, man.
I got more time now for all these types of things in my life. So.
Okay.
Thank you.
No problem, Andreas. Take care, man.
Congratulations again, man, on your.
Thank you. Ken, give me a call tomorrow.
Will do.
Peace.
All right. Take care, man.
Yeah.
Okay, so the next piece of news is Angela Bassett. She is not going to make it for Mission Impossible 7 due to what was going on with COVID. So she hopes to be in Mission Impossible 8, but whatever, I trust Christopher McQuarrie so much with this franchise now that, no sweat, man. As long as the film is ready and you're good with it, I'm good with it. Whenever she can be in this, if she's in the next film, so be it. But I know the film's in good hands, so I have nothing more to say to that.
No, I mean, we don't know obviously how big a role it is. It's probably a scene or two scenes that they can probably just cut out and have a different character in it, or you know, who knows? But yeah, it's not. I don't think it's like a loss to the franchise. You know, they've been working on these movies for so long now because of COVID. They're still in England doing it. Tom Cruise and Mckay, they were at
Wimbledon,
the Euros final. You know, so they're out there doing the thing, and yeah, just really looking forward to getting it seen. And you know, the nice thing is we do have Maverick coming before that as well.
Oh, geez, yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, Tom Cruise is just ever since that dip he had in the mid-2000s, he's just gone.
Absolutely, he does everything. He flies planes, helicopters, rock climbs, parachutes out of planes. It's all him. It's just, riding motorcycles. He's just phenomenal as an actor in his craft. He just keeps delivering. He keeps pushing himself and learning new skills, which is what I absolutely love about him. So,
I mean, I hate to say,
personal life aside, you know.
I mean, that's the thing. He's kept that really private now. He said, "Okay, my films are my films."
Like it was before.
No, not at all. And I think that's what everyone likes now. He's just there to promote his film. He has a laugh about it. He doesn't take himself. He doesn't look like he takes himself particularly too seriously anymore. When he's on Graham Norton, he seems to have a great time there. And so
who's this Cruise?
Yeah.
And so
I think he's just enjoying his craft as much as he ever has.
Really, he just looks like he's having the time of his life, man. And that's kind of what you want to see from a particular type of actor, anyway.
And that rant that he had on set, you know.
Oh, I mean, that he was justified for that.
He wasn't wrong, but that shows the passion he has to get it right. Do you know what I mean? I didn't have a problem with what he said.
But then you know what? It's not even a passion. It's more a case of, look, he's the main producer of the franchise. Okay, now if that set, which it has happened twice now, shuts down, it's his money. It's on his head. The whole production is on his head, more than him just being a billing movie star. He's responsible for everyone's wages. He's responsible for everything. So if someone's not obeying the protocol, they're fucking everything up for everyone.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I mean? And you've got to understand, he's the guy making the calls to the insurance companies, making sure stuff's in place, making sure that certain third-party vendors are obeying protocols for this, that, and the other. He's the guy. You know, even when he's not acting, he's the guy on the phone after the movie's all done, late at night, answering calls and emails and stuff, doing the stuff that he probably should be doing on set, but can't do everything at once. You know what I mean? So the whole movie is on him. You know what I mean? Like, you know, see how people like badmouth Kathleen Kennedy over Star Wars? Well, you know what? If this film's a dud, it's all on Cruise. You know what I mean? It's all on Cruise. So he takes it. It's more than an actor taking something seriously. It's literally the whole production. You know what I mean? There's more at stake for him on this movie, and it's not a rant for no reason. He had every right to make that call. I know some people have said maybe he should have said it in private, and yeah, maybe he should.
I mean, he did say it in private, but someone recorded him. Yeah, that's the difference.
Either way, I understand the pressure he's under. You know what I mean? And I don't blame him. And he's not in the wrong, because whoever...
No one's disputing that at all, man.
Yeah, whoever... Yeah, and, you know, like, I've got a friend of mine working on film production right now, and his job is basically to supervise the whole COVID thing, basically. And, yeah, it's something that's been taken really, really seriously around here. I mean, hell, we almost didn't get Michael Keaton because of this shit. You know, Michael Keaton didn't want to be Batman for the Flash movie unless...
Because of COVID in London.
Yeah, unless he knew for a fact that shit was under control.
Yeah.
So, you know what I mean? So, we'll see, man. We'll see how the movie comes out. I have every faith, because the last one was... Look, it's no secret. I liked it more than fucking Endgame. And I stick by that. It's just every time I watch that movie, I need to watch it from whatever point. I've seen it like 20 times now. It's fucking amazing.
Seen it more than I ever will see it, probably. But I do like the film as well. It's a really good film.
I saw it like 11 times in cinema.
Jesus.
I saw it like 11 times in cinema.
That's more than I've seen anything.
Man.
in a cinema. I mean, that's an expensive habit. Anyway, Angela Bassett will be in the next one, Hook or by Crook. So I'm going to move on from there, because we've drained that story, and we go to the Continental, the mini, which is now a mini series, which has got a hefty price tag. It's going to be directed by I can't pronounce this guy's name. Albert Hughes.
Real tongue twister there, yeah.
No, because I was looking at a different name. So, oh no, that's Albert Hughes. And so, as far as I'm concerned, the price tag intrigues me, because it's 60 million for 3 episodes. So I'm intrigued to see what happens in this, because a lot of people are going to die. Something huge is going to happen in these 3 episodes. So
so this prequels, it's set 40 years before the events of the main series, on the backdrop against the 1970s in New York, and it focuses on Winston's early days as a
young man.
Yeah, so be real interesting to see what they do. I like the Winston character a lot. Yeah. So be interesting to see his backstory and the beginnings of that hotel chain, man.
I'm more interested to see about I'm interested in the hotel, but I'm more interested to see what the world, because they world build every film, but from this series, what I specifically want to see is what the hierarchy is, what the consequences are. We know what the consequences are. Yeah, and how many people are involved, because it seems to be a wide network, and it seems that they're in cahoots with the police, and I want to see who's influenced by who, and who has the power, what the power dynamic is there, and I'm guessing hopefully we'll see that in this show. Ken, what do you make of this?
Yeah, look, I think it's a fantastic franchise. And it's what we've come to. We use John Wick now as a bar for action movies. So you get your hit and misses, but it's like the Raid was referred to a lot, and now it's kind of Bourne Identity was a point where everything was matched to that because of the fighting sequences. Now it's just like John Wick, it's just like it's such a standard now, and to expand on that universe, I like that they're doing it very different to what it currently is, and let the movies continue with that, and it's not just a spin-off at the same period of time. I like the fact that it's completely different, get to see it in a different style. Will the hotel be the same, or will it have a different look and feel, like more Art Deco or whatever it is? But really good director, Book of Eli and stuff like that. So he knows how to handle
he can do action
kind of project. So really
looking forward to it.
Yeah, and I'm glad they're not stretching it out to be like a 6-10 episode kind of thing. Go big, go in depth and make it look stunning.
Yeah, I guess that's what they're doing for it, keeping the aesthetic quite coherent. With just with just the miniseries. Neil, what do you make of this?
I can't wait. I mean, I think when I think about the fact that they've chosen Alba Hughes, it's weird because I like it because I think he's not known to be an action director, but he's a director that he brings what I feel personally, and I'm mainly focusing on Book of Eli, is he brings a sense of drama to his action.
Right.
It's not just like slap bang bam.
Yeah. There's a reason for everything happening.
These things are happening during this action set piece, and I think you know what, it's good because obviously there is always going to be an expectation when you see any film that's kind of connected to John Wick that you need to see whoever's the star going full Keanu Reeves mode. Like, well, Keanu did it, so if you can't do it,
yeah.
Right? If you ain't willing to break a rib for this, then you can go home.
Go hard or go home.
Yeah, but I feel like he's gonna present something lovely.
Yeah, I feel the same. Again, I see no downside to this story. The fact that they've made it's not like going to be an ongoing series and made it like this. It's going to be this thing that you can watch as opposed to the movies, and I get an understanding from it. That's great. I have no bad words for it.
The only thing is,
yeah, go on.
It's not a bad thing. I'm still just itching and scratching for the ballerina.
Oh, right, okay. It's because that's another spin-off, right?
Yeah.
Right. Well, I don't know anything about that at the moment. I knew they were talking about it, but I didn't know it was going to be a thing. So, I mean, I guess that would be set in Russia or somewhere.
Maybe not, because I mean, if you remember, you go back to John Wick 3. There is a
there's a school, isn't there? Yeah.
Home and there's a ballerina there.
Right. Yeah, that's true.
I saw what was technically like a previs fight scene, and I'm like, if you're gonna do that, I want to see that.
Yeah. Oh, that's when he was walking through, and there were.
When he was walking through the theater.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. That does intrigue me. Well, I think that series has been in good hands for a while, so I don't think this guy will drop the ball. Anyway, moving on. This is what is this? Pet Sematary 2, being made for Paramount Plus. Who gives a shit? Guys, what do you think? What do you think? Sorry, I just add my thoughts on that.
I think for me the issue is that I loved Pet Sematary, right? And there is a Pet Sematary 2, film-wise. So, considering the kind of somewhat success of, horror films are made very cheap, so it is easy to make a profit and decide to make a sequel. I think the only issue that I personally have with this is you're making a sequel, but you're putting it on a streaming service. I like horror movies by rights, unless it's Netflix's Fear Street. If you're making a horror movie, you need to put it in the cinema. Because for me, a horror movie has to go in a cinema, because the whole aesthetic of watching a film in a cinema is you're going into a dark room, the speakers are louder than your house, the screen is bigger than your house. What you're seeing is everything is very immersive, and you're sitting in a dark room full of strangers. That is the prime atmosphere to watch a horror film, because you don't know all the people in the room with you, and you're watching. I'm going to use slasher films as my example. but it's like any one of the people in this room could be a fucking slasher.
I guess so, yeah. You put it that way.
But the thing is, there is a certain level of tension that rises out of being in a room full of strangers all experiencing something at the same time. Because when you experience it with your friends, there is a certain kind of subdued amount, because you know these people, and you know, for the most part, you might know what makes people afraid and what makes them tick and things, and you have a simple sense of humor. So how you feel about it is it's going to be more of a group,
a collective experience, a group collective experience. Yeah.
When you're in a cinema and it's full of people that you don't know, and somebody is freaking out, getting really scared of something, that it's like it's contagious.
Yeah, it's a tension builder.
Slides out amongst everyone. You know, and I'm just like, I love it watching a horror film, and somebody's like, I don't want to watch this film. Why are we here watching this? I was like, you're here to make me feel better.
See, I feel exactly the opposite. I'm like, shut the fuck up. If you don't like horror movies, then why the fuck are you here ruining my experience? Yeah, I'm just like, you know, people are jumping and stuff that shouldn't be there, and they're making me jump, not the movie.
Yeah.
You know, so like they think someone's gonna be behind the door. Ah! And I'm like, fuck's sake. And then I'm missing the movie, I miss the actual jump, because it's always a few seconds later than people think it is.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't actually watch a lot of horror movies in general, but I probably watch a little, you know, even less at the cinema. I'm quite happy, you know. I shut everything off when I watch movies. I mean, I don't even open my curtains most days, so my house is like dark constantly. I train my eyes just to be
that lower light.
But you know, I've watched movies like His House and stuff like that, and watched them at home. I got a great experience. So for me, yeah, I don't need to see it at the cinema. And look, it's a streaming service war now. It's not necessarily, you know, the big tentpole films, which are going to be 200 mil budgets and stuff going up on the big screen. A lot of other stuff is going to go down onto streaming services, because you know, all these companies now need their own streaming services. They need to draw people in, and it's just a case of how many subscriptions are people going to have.
Yeah,
you know, so
that's going to be the bubble burster.
Yeah, it will be, and basically that's what happened with cable TV back in the day. You know, so every network had its own channel, and then basically a company got together and said, "Look, put all your channels in one place. Yeah. You'll get a piece of the pie." And that's how you got cable TV with all the different channels. Now it's just gone back to your separate subscriptions, and you know, I won't subscribe to it anymore now, because I can't justify it. Like every time I'm on YouTube and an advert comes up, I'm like, I should subscribe. But it's like another £10 a month. I'm like, no, I'm not going to do it. I'm going to wait this 15 seconds, because I'm not going to give you any more of my money, because I pay for my Netflix. You know, Amazon, I use the delivery service anyway, but then I pay for Disney, and it's like, you know, when HBO Max launches eventually, it's like there's so much content on there. It's like, why wouldn't I? But then it's just so much. So other streaming services like Peacock and all this other kind of stuff, I'm not going to go near it. You know, so it makes sense. I enjoyed the first movie. You know, I thought it was fairly decent. The original movie was very freaky. I remember watching when I was a kid. This one was, you know, really good. It's, you know, localized. It wasn't really huge. Couple of nice surprises in there. For me, it went quite into a little bit in terms of there was a lot of surprises in it, because it'd been so long since I read the book. The stuff happened in the movie, I'm like, oh, okay, didn't expect that, and yeah, I enjoyed it. So I think actually a movie that size with the budget they can kind of throw at it is kind of perfect for streaming.
Well, I mean, just what you were saying, Ken, with the I saw it coming. So yeah, okay. So they're gonna have a streaming service. They're gonna stream it. Every Tim, Dick, and Harry is gonna have a service. Yeah, is gonna have a service. That's gonna burst. I think they're literally talking about it before I came out here to do the podcast. That it's getting to a point where it's just like you said. It's just like cable. It's like, watch this here, watch this here, watch this here, but you've got to pay the subscription, and now it's getting silly. I mean, Paramount Plus, I don't know what that equates to over here, but just the fact that it's another service, so I have to go over here to watch this, or go over here to do this.
Is that actually coming out over here?
I don't know, but that's my point. Is that
some of them might not do, because we've still got Sky and other things over here. So it depends if they make deals.
Yeah, if they make deals with Sky, and it depends on Paramount if they want to do that, and it's becoming convoluted now. It's like what show was I watching? I had to.
Paramount Plus has got like Comedy Central, Nickelodeon. It's got all the other stuff where we've got the separate channels over here. So it might not be a thing over here, and it might be something that comes on something else.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
like Sky have been picking up like the
They pick up all the
HBO Max stuff.
Yeah.
You know, so they got like Snyder Cut and but then content like the Arrowverse is still on Sky One, but then you've also got Harley Quinn, which is on E4.
Yeah.
So it's all just kind of split up over in this country.
Yeah, it's so.
I imagine that Shudder will probably get their hands on Pet Cemetery.
Probably, and I mean even that oh gosh, man,
Is it 100% a streaming film or?
This one is, yeah.
And
there's also going to be a Grease prequel series.
What?
Oh, they need to give up that ghost.
Rise of the Pink Ladies.
Oh Jesus.
Bruh.
Okay, well.
You'd think the prequel would be called Summer Loving and be set when he actually met Sandy via high school. That way.
No, Sash, that'd be too obvious.
No, see, Sandy dies.
Huh?
That's the whole thing. Sandy dies. She never got drowned, and the whole movie's her fantasy. Yeah, that's why the car flies at the end.
I thought it wasn't her fantasy. It was like her head, like hallucinations of her brain dying.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah, that's what, it's all in her head. Yeah.
Okay.
Nobody else goes around singing like that. So yeah. So he's like, she nearly drowned. No, she drowned. So.
I see. Okay, that film makes a lot more sense now. Yeah. Anyway,
back to points about cinema experiences and stuff back to streaming. I disagree with horror. I 1,000% disagree with horror. I feel horror is a genre that's built for the theaters, man.
are you disagreeing with? Because that's what Neil said.
But that's what Ken.
He's disagreeing with why.
Oh, I see. Okay, I see.
Mainly because, like, I don't really watch horror movies for starters, but when I do, I watch it in the theater. You know why? I like that communal experience in a horror. I do like it when other people scream before I do. I've had some of the best experiences in, with the horror genre in the theater. All the Scream films, Blair Witch 2, which don't count, or even hell, Blair Witch 1. No, not because the movie was good, because of other reasons, but there's
Dog Soldiers.
The other thing is, when I watch a film, especially a horror film, at home, sometimes I'm only paying half attention, and I find that with streaming films as well. The film, I might be looking at my phone or something, whereas when I'm going to a theatre, I know myself personally, I'm switching that phone off, and I'm locked in, and I'm more immersed. So when shit happens in a horror, I'm actually fucking scared out of my mind. But it's okay because I know everyone else around me are scared out of their minds as well, or they're laughing, and it's there. When I'm watching a horror at home by myself, and I've done that a few times, it's not the same, man.
I think it depends on the type of horror though, and the subgenre that comes with the horror. So, for instance, films like Final Destination and Scream, they are enjoyable cinema experiences because of the types of deaths they are and stuff like that. Where other movies like Conjuring, this and the other, that doesn't do it for me in the cinema. I'm not bothered. But where it's spectacle stuff, like where it's big death scenes and some laughs and all that kind of stuff, yeah, I get that. But that's just me personally.
Like slasher horror.
I tell you right now, I wish I saw Conjuring in Green 4 in Harrow. I wish
because of the sound design. Because of the sound design. I mean, like The Conjuring does a very good job of building up the tension, even when there's nothing there, And anyway, I've said my piece, man. That's just generally how I feel. Obviously, other people feel differently because I think the pandemic has kind of changed a lot of people's way of consuming movies and stuff.
Yeah, Black Widow definitely knows that.
Yeah, 80% drop off second week, probably because of shit movie. But anyway,
or maybe the model's just bad.
The model's probably just bad because I know I know people that probably would have seen it like 4 or 5 times after the first time.
Disney, they're re-bottom feeding their own ass. It's like, it's how do you? Yeah. Anyway, that's a different topic. That's a different topic. I don't want to get.
A family can get the movie from Disney Plus for an extra what, 30 quid, as opposed to going to the cinema and ending up paying like 50, 60 with tickets and snacks.
Yeah. I mean, well, again, Again, this is something for another time. I'm going to move on here. So the next story is Nic Cage. He doesn't want to do big budget films anymore. He's more acquainted to doing his how should I say, his I love his projects. He's
Indy darling.
Dude, I watched Pics today.
Oh yeah.
That is phenomenal.
Yeah, I thought it was
so good, and he is brilliant in it.
Yeah.
It's basically Taken meets Ratatouille. It's just like that's what I got on my review. You'll get it when you see it. You'll get it when you see it.
Don't say any more, my friend.
I'm not going to say any more. But if he does more movies like this, I can see him getting an award for this.
Right. They said that at Cannes as well.
Golden Globe or whatever it may be. Probably not Oscar, but Golden Globe or BAFTA or something like that. But he is so good in this. It just reminds you of how good of an actor he can be. Forget all the other little cameo bits that he does, like, you know, 5 million payday, where he was starting a blockbuster movie. I probably get that. Maybe he sorted his tax stuff out, which is now he's like, you know what? I just want to make what I want to make. And yeah, I would say to everybody listening to this, watching this, go watch Pig. It's fantastic. It's probably my best film I've seen so far this year.
That's a recommendation.
That's the next film I'm going to watch then.
You changed the whole game with that one.
Yeah, you really did. I did. Yeah.
They both have a particular set of skills for real, but I did not know that they meshed that well.
Believe.
That's genre mix in the half. I was just him being in that film. Just I have to watch this. you have to. You just have to. Ever since I watched The Color of Outer Space, I thought, this is what he's suited to. This is pure Nic Cage. He can cage out in all of those indie films. So yeah, man, I get what he's saying. I really wish he would do the sequel to The Sorcerer's Apprentice, though.
You know
what?
You've
never seen that film.
You know what?
It's good.
Not bad.
It's good.
Bad.
It's
actually entertaining.
It's very entertaining. It's more entertaining than it should be. And,
because you think it's going to be trash, and then you watch it on a whim, and then you're just it's actually jokes. It's actually pretty jokes, and to be honest, like, it's long overdue. Disney National Treasure fucking 3, man.
Yeah,
I don't care how bad the last one is.
Yeah,
I like that character.
It's gone from like a movie to a series to
They just should have like put out part 3, get over and done with, because
it's going to be a series now, isn't it? Disney Plus one. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
Is he involved? If he's not involved, no dice.
They haven't said he is, but I can imagine a cameo to start it off with, maybe.
Yeah, I can't see them shelling out for his price tag per episode, depending how many episodes there are. If it's like a Falcon and Winter Soldier thing, or like what they're doing with the Marvel stuff, maybe. If it's like a 7-episode thing, maybe he'll do it. But if it's like an ongoing thing, I can't see him doing that. But yeah, more power to Nick, man. He can do no wrong in my eyes. Moving on to...
You want, Nick. You do you.
Yeah, exactly. You do you, Nick. Keeping with the horror comedy, horror laughs. So Rob Zombie wants to reboot the Monsters. I don't know how we feel about that, but Rob Zombie is an interesting combo for the Monsters. I don't know what you would do with that. I guess it would be the same thing you would do with the Addams Family, but I don't see Rob Zombie as a capable director. I see him as someone who...
Like an odd choice, yeah.
Yeah.
Unless he's planning to go like really dark with it. But yeah, the Monsters was a real family show. It was really light. It was I watch the Munsters more than I do the Addams Family. I grew up on the Munsters, you know, and that's the show that I watch. So, yeah, it seems like a strange mix, but nice.
Go to move it.
And you know, it's stuff that appears on social media every now and then from the Munsters, where they talk about like racial equality and treating people fairly. It has some really good messages in it. So it seems strange, like you say, don't know what they're going to do with it, but you know, every franchise, every IP is up for grabs, a reboot, something new with it, because new ideas are hard to come by.
Yeah,
good new ideas.
Yeah, I still, I don't know how I feel about it. Satch, how do you feel about it? Did you even used to watch the Munsters?
I mean, yeah, it came on TV, but I didn't gravitate towards it. I think Addams Family. The thing was, I was on the other side of the fence. I was more Addams Family, mainly because like that would play on probably a bit more because of the movie. Like I think I saw the movie and then it was like, oh, there's a TV show, and then I started watching the TV show. Monsters was kind of around the same time, but this is my knowledge. This is from my point of view, but at the same time, I could be talking out of context there. You know what I mean? I'd always look at the Monsters as like how I view the GoBots, the Transformers. You know, like that other show that, well, you know what I mean? Which sounds really bad, but like at the same time, it's like, you know what I mean? I was just like, well, okay, it's the same thing, but it's a little different. I don't get it, you know? Because it's exactly the same. It's like having fucking Super Mario Brothers and then the Great Guiana Sisters. You know what I mean? It's the same shit. One's better than the other, but they look and play both the same, you know? And for those that get the reference to that, good on you.
Okay, so here's an interesting fact. The Munsters, first episode was the 24th of December, 64. The Addams Family was 18th of September, 64, literally a week before.
Wow.
And they both run for 2 seasons.
But the Addams comic first.
Yeah. Yeah, but just purely as a joke.
Yeah, I think I love them both. I think I was more well versed actually with the Munsters than I was the Addams Family. I didn't really get to become well versed with the Addams Family until I watched the 90s movies.
Same.
But it's like, I think what I loved, because, you know, it's like, you know, Herman Munster is Frankenstein, you know, and it's like, you know, Grandpa is actually Dracula, and, you know, Eddie Munster is the Wolfman. And I really liked that, and it was like, you know, the mum was Bride of Frankenstein. I really liked the Munsters, and it was just kind of it was sort of like there was a lot more social commentary in it.
Yeah.
And I think, I mean, I don't doubt Rob Zombie, because I'm probably one of the, you know, like 17 people in the world who actually really enjoyed his versions of Halloween. But I don't know if he's the right guy for the job. Because, you know, I like, not everything always needs to be dark or go dark. You know, like, I mean,
yeah, he's. Yeah, go on.
Yeah, it's like, it doesn't need to be dark, and something like the Munsters actually needs to stay light. In my personal opinion, it needs to stay light, because the best thing about, for me, like, just, you know, thinking of the like couple of episodes that I remember, is for them, like, obviously both them and the Addams Family had the thing of, they didn't know that they thought they were normal and everyone else was weird. But the thing about the Munsters was, because of the way that they were like, well, we're just a normal family, it meant that their behavior, their interactions with other people were a thing of, we're going to be nice to you no matter what. Whereas, you know, it was like, you know, you can come around for dinner. Whereas the Addams Family, you know, you can come around for dinner and it's like, here is, you know, bat fingers and you know, snake tail soup.
Right. Yeah.
You know, and it was like,
yeah.
I'm trying to find a way to phrase it in a cohesive way or a concise way, but basically, I was like, the Munsters was. Munsters was basically like the Simpsons. It was like the way the Simpsons was. It was like the way these kind of shows were. They would like they fit a mold.
Right.
They fit a mold, and they needed to stay in that mold, and they don't work outside of their mold.
Right. I see what you mean. Okay. Yeah, modernizing monsters. I don't know how that will work.
Yeah, especially because the idea of Frankenstein will always be, you know, bolts on the neck, flat top.
Yeah.
But it's not. It will always be in the culture, but it's not in the cultural zeitgeist. It's not in the mind. It's not in the eye line.
Yeah.
People that look at Frankenstein.
Yeah. I see what you mean. I reckon the way to go with that is what Taika Waititi did with What We Do in the Shadows. Kind of go like
the perfect guy for that.
Yeah.
He's the perfect guy for the monster.
Yeah, and if you're gonna, because those are guys stuck in a certain era now, and so I think that would work for it more than what the 50s-esque or 60s-esque version of that would work now. So I don't know. Who knows? Good luck, Rob Zombie. I'm going straight onto Blackula because I want to get this out of the way. It's been rebooted. I'm not particularly bothered about it. I don't know how they're gonna. I don't know how I'll get this past YouTube, to be honest. But
the perfect reboot already. You don't need another one. Vampire in Brooklyn, Eddie Murphy,
yeah.
Dean Harrison, Angela Bassett, gold medal with that.
Yeah.
You don't need to because we don't live in that period of time anymore where something like that works. Right? Because the reason isn't for what people think. The reason it doesn't work now is because the people who will say they love it aren't gonna love it. They're gonna love it because it's supposed to be socially acceptable to love it, and the people who hate it are gonna hate it because it's probably gonna be trash.
Yeah, probably. I don't know who was sniffing coke in Hollywood at this point. It's like, do you know what would be a great idea if we brought back Blackula? whose idea was that? Come on, guys. There are other IPs out there that you can challenge. I think this is if Quentin was doing this, it would make sense, but he's not. So
yeah.
What would be an interesting take is if they did it sort of like very much like Dolomite Is My Name, and it's trying to make it.
Yeah, see, that's
that side of it. So that if they did something like that, that would be really cool.
Yeah, that's the way in. He's a producer, man. He's always said he's a producer. That's the way into that, because you can't really sell a film that is not aware that it's called Blackula to the public.
Yeah.
Unless it's Quentin Tarantino that's doing it, or Rodriguez. So yeah. Anyway, moving on. It looks like Tom Hiddleston would like to stay as Loki forever. I mean, I guess this is this is his C-3PO. So he'll be yeah. I mean, he says he's very good at impressions. He got roasted the other, I think 2 weeks ago, about how his impressions. He reckons he has great impressions, and I can't remember what comedian it was, but he was on Joe Rogan. He said this guy can't do impressions. Everyone around him says he can, but he can't. And
his impressions aren't very good at all.
No, they're really not. And I remember watching
the best impression I think of his was actually Graham Norton.
yeah. That's his best impression. I remember when he was doing it. There's, oh man, what are you doing, dude? I felt embarrassed for him because he thinks he's amazing. He really does.
Yeah, it's really bizarre.
Yes.
It's really bizarre.
I've only heard him do.
Strive to have that confidence.
I've only heard him do a Robert De Niro one. He wasn't that bad.
No, it wasn't. I've heard other people. I've heard myself do better Robert De Niro's impressions than him. He's. I don't know what to say.
Tom, I ain't getting involved. I hope we're still friends, okay?
Nah, Tom can play Loki as much as he wants. It's a character that can come up in any series at any time for any reason.
Yeah.
And it's we know we're gonna get a series 2 of Loki. We know he's gonna be in Doctor Strange 2. He can appear in absolutely anything now. And,
he's probably going to be in 4 as well. We probably don't even know.
Yeah.
What's wrong, Satch?
Right.
Has everyone here seen Loki?
No.
Yeah.
Okay. Alright.
You can talk about it if you want.
Well, look, I'll tell you like this, right? Well, I'm sorry, but you might want to.
No, I don't care. I don't care.
Alright. Well, look, I'll tell you like this. Tom, you did great as Loki. I see that you're getting jacked. I've noticed the shirt's getting real tight.
Right.
Done. But fair warning, I know that your only reason you're saying you want to do this as long as you can is because you watched the Loki show like everyone else. I was like, Richard E. Grant killed it.
Yeah. Oh, right.
I know you got nervous. It's okay.
I would watch a Richard E. Grant and Croaky.
There's a crocodile that's Loki as well, isn't there?
Yeah.
That's hilarious. That's fucking hilarious.
I know you feel that nerve.
That just a crocodile alone. I've seen Richard E. Grant's suit. That's great. It's really good.
He's so good in it. So good.
Yeah.
So my thing is he can do Loki as long as he likes.
Yeah. I think everyone's in agreement here. Just don't do any more impressions.
Matt Damon variant, man. We need a Matt Damon variant, and we need.
No, we don't. Stop posting that shit.
Okay.
Totally need a Matt Damon variant.
No one can see Dogma because of the rights issues, so it doesn't mean anything to anyone who hasn't seen it the first time around.
They are Disney. They own everything. They can make it happen. In fact, didn't they own Miramax?
They did at one point.
Yeah.
At one point,
Yeah.
Miramax, Dimension.
They could get back.
They had pretty much all.
They could get back. They can.
Touchstone. Everything's in their back pocket, man. Okay, moving on to more horror, and Christine is being remade by Bryan Fuller. So I don't know this guy. I'm hoping one of you guys can fill me in and this talent.
Mainly TV stuff. I mean, this is not his first go. It's not his first swing at Stephen King. Because I think it was like 2000, between 2000 and 2004. He did I think he had a hand in the TV version of the Carrie movie. Right. I mean, and I know he's done a lot of TV stuff, a lot of TV related stuff.
He's writing producer of Star Trek Discovery, American Gods, and Hannibal.
Yes.
Heroes and others.
Okay, Hannibal.
Yeah, so he's done a lot of TV stuff. Because I'm like, it's serviceable hands because everything that he's worked on, I've not seen something in him like, oh, that was shit, and then looked it up and been like, oh, he was involved in it. Yeah.
Right.
Right.
Okay.
But at the same time, I do also feel like the last time, look, Carrie, the remake that came out a couple of years ago.
Oh, the one with Hit Girl.
With Chloe Grace Moretz.
Yes, that's one.
When they announced the movie and they were like Chloe Grace Moretz, Julianne Moore. Man, you know that meme of Homer Simpson where he's on the circle?
Yeah.
That was the joy I felt. I was spinning around in there, right? When I watched the film, I felt like Lisa when Snowball 2 died. Right? Because I was like, and it looked, and you know what it is? The trailer. I don't really like to use the phrase, but the trailer honey dicked me. The trailer honey dicked me. It showed me, because I read the book, and it showed me a scene that I knew from the book, and I was like, oh, glory, glory. And I watched it, and I was like, fucking light.
Right? Yeah.
And I don't see. I mean, John Carpenter did the original Christine, which is already a masterpiece in itself. The book and the film are quite different to each other. But damn it. Like, I don't want to see a remake of Christine because all they could do is fuck that. Even if they tried to make it more like the book, all they could do is fuck it.
Well, you've got to give them the benefit that until you see a picture, maybe hold off.
I mean, until you get a cast together and all that kind of stuff, it's hard to say what it's going to be. So, but you look, it hasn't been remade since the 80s. It was going to happen.
I mean, technically, it was. They made like a spiritual remake slash spiritual sequel, which was called Super Hybrid.
Oh, okay.
Right. It was not a big budget movie, but it was a film that came out called Super Hybrid. It was advertised as like a spiritual sequel
okay.
to Christine.
Okay.
And it was not great. It was the worst film I've ever seen, but it was not great. And I was just like, you got to leave Christine alone, because unless you're gonna make it in the time period that the book is set, you're gonna fuck it up. Sorry, that's how I feel. You're gonna fuck it up.
Well, I've never, from the credits that you've given me about this guy, I think he seems credible. The only thing about it is Star Trek Discovery, but that's not his fault. That's Roberto Orsi. Can't remember the other guy, but is it Roberto Orsi? Is it Roberto Orsi? That okay. Yeah, we'll see. I've read part of the book and seen bits of the. Was it the 80s that the film came out?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was bits and pieces because I remember my brother having the VHS, and this is why I saw all my films, because he had Predator, he had Terminator, he had all of that stuff. That's how I watched all the films, and so hopefully. Yeah, we did. Yeah, and so hopefully, I don't think he'll fuck it up, because that's it's a property. If you fuck that up, that's going to be marking your name. You don't fuck up a Stephen King property. Yeah, only Stephen King fucks up a Stephen King property. So that's to be known. Okay, so the last topic is Resident Evil. I don't have a image for this, so apparently there's a new image floating around, which I haven't seen. But have you guys seen this image? What does it look like?
Just go in Google, type in Resident Evil Netflix, and you will see it.
Yeah, Resident Evil doesn't really do anything for me, because I think I've played one game and I've not watched the movies. So
you've not seen any of the films?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, okay.
I mean, maybe I've watched the first one, but so is this Resident Evil supposed to be is it a CG animated?
No. This is.
Oh, I can see the image. Wow.
It's the one with all the teeny boppers, man.
No, that is not looking right there.
Right, okay.
I mean, it's an image of what is clearly Leon Kennedy and Claire Redfield. Whew. No.
Who's Leon Kennedy?
I think you're getting your wires crossed, because the CG one is both of them in it, and there's another one that Netflix are doing.
It's a live action.
That's a live action.
Leon police in his police.
Oh dear. Okay, I've not seen those images.
The best way I can describe it is the guy looks like Crispin Glover in like.
Oh shit.
Right? right?
Oh, hang on, where's-
I want to see that now.
Crispin Glover in like Back to the Future 1, same hairstyle. I am.
Yeah. Okay. Let's do it now.
in call messages, just send me that. Send me the link to that. I'll send you the link to the main one on Variety. Check it out.
Yeah, that was.
Because this one has Wesker.
Right.
Yeah, that's the guy from the John Wick.
Yeah, and let's see your one now. Okay.
It's coming through. Well, I had to send it to you via WhatsApp, but it's sent it to you. All right, so that cast. All right, so it's got Lance Hendricks. The picture I'm looking at that you have sent, I can see Lance Hendricks. All right, which is always
He's a good actor.
But and then I'm just seeing a bunch of young females, right?
But I don't know who they are. I checked out of as soon as I saw that because I think I know the picture you're talking about. As soon as I saw that, yeah, I'm done. I haven't watched a Resident Evil film since 2. Anything else? All the CG movies, whatever. I'm just not bothered because it's all convoluted. They're all working against each other.
Here's the thing for me personally, right? The Resident Evil films, so you know Paul Anderson's movies.
Mm-hmm. His wet dream.
Right? Whilst they aren't Resident Evil in the way that they are supposed to be, once I take myself away from, you know, the quote, you know, unquote, love of the games, because really and truly, I was like, I played Resident Evil 2 and 3, and that was my whole thing. Right? That was my whole thing, was I watched 2 and 3. That was it.
Okay.
I played rather 2 and 3, right? I didn't play Resident Evil 1. I didn't play Resident Evil 4. I didn't play 5, 6. I didn't play any of the other ones after that.
Mm-hmm.
So my whole experience was just Resident Evil 2 and Resident Evil Nemesis.
Okay.
So really and truly, from the story, I'm like, okay, this isn't Resident Evil. But just as a film, I was like, no, you're just good senseless action. This was a zombie version of the Fast and Furious franchise. It just got mad as shit each time they go around.
Yeah, I remember seeing the first one, but I think that was it.
Yeah.
And it was
that would do it for you.
The first one was basically billed as like, this is what happens before the game. That's what the first one's kind of billed as. And then the second one is like, okay, we're going to do as much as we can to make it like the game. And then the third one, we were like, ah, fuck it. Right?
Quite literally.
And truth be told, if you've never played the Resident Evil games, they're alright films.
Okay,
They're genuine alright films, right?
I've got to jump in here. Go. I'm itching.
Right? But I'm like, you know what? I own them all on Blu-ray. I'm like, they're alright. I'm like, I'm a comfortable watch.
Do you own Rec 1 and Rec 2?
I do.
Those are Resident Evil films. That's all I'm going to say. That's what Resident Evil should be.
How many Resident Evil films were there before we got Rec?
I don't know. I actually don't know.
I believe there were 4.
Okay, fair enough. I mean, for a Spanish crew to come, do you know we can make a better Resident Evil film with a lower budget, with people that don't speak English, and
actors.
Yep, and they still made a better film.
Right. But at the same time, when you look at that, you look at like how many action films were there before the Raid?
It depends how much of a pedestal you put the Raid on, because I don't.
I put the Raid on the highest pedestal it is. I mean, I built a new pedestal when they made the Raid, and I had to build on top of it when they made the Raid 2.
They're as good as Jackie Chan films, as far as I'm concerned.
Well, that's the thing. Is like,
I know
we're we're leaning away from
You just broken Sasha.
You know what?
What's wrong with Jackie Chan films?
Nothing's wrong with Jackie Chan films. No.
I said they're as good as Jackie Chan films.
Conflict is in his head. He's like,
Well, my thing is like, there are certain things that come out where you put them a cut above everything else, or you put them in their own box, because trying to compare them to something else doesn't work. You can't really compare a Jackie Chan film to another film, to another. I don't know. You compare a Jackie Chan film to another Jackie Chan. Trying to compare it and be like, oh yeah, you know, like, let's compare Super Cop to Once Upon a Time in China. It doesn't work. Not because they're all about different things or they're set in different time periods. You know, like, comparing, you can't compare them because they're sitting in different boats. The boats are similar make, but they're sitting in different boats.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how those things are. So with the Raid is the best action film that you get to compare to other action films, or the best martial arts action film that you get to compare to every other martial arts action film.
Mm-hmm.
And then that's how you're like, well, it's a cut above everything else.
Have you seen the Man from Nowhere? That is your next watch now. That is your. Trust me when I say your next watch.
No, I don't think I have.
It comes close. It comes close, but no cigar.
Comes close to what?
Close to giving the raid a run for
the Raid
in terms of action. Yeah, the Raid.
The Man from Nowhere. Which film are you talking? The Man from Nowhere. What are you talking about? A Chinese film or the 1950s film?
Chinese film.
Okay. Because The Man from Nowhere is a noir film. What are you talking about?
But it is the thing of, you know, certain films just stand out above others.
Mm-hmm.
Now, harking all the way back to Resident Evil, the picture I saw is, I'm sorry, I hope that what that image was just a cosplay or a fan-made movie. I genuinely hope that.
No, it's not.
It was bad cosplay there. I disagree with you. I disagree with you on your points with the Resident Evil movies, mainly because of how much we tear up comic movies when they don't do certain characters justice.
Yeah.
Because that just throws my Taskmaster thing out the window. But
here's the thing.
But I had other points.
Yeah.
I had other points. But even with those other points, I could break down all those Resident Evil movies. Trust. They're just bad filmmaking, man. They're bad. But you know what? When you say it's like the zombie movie of Fast and Furious, you are definitely onto something.
Yeah, that makes a lot more sense.
Because that's a better comparison, because they are bad movies, but they have an audience that love them because they're the right amount of cheese to switch your brain off and not give a shit. Where Logic Boxes, whatever. The problem is that if you're a fan of that particular franchise, it's real hard to switch that off. It really is.
Yeah, because there's 6 Resident Evil movies, right?
Yeah.
I can name you 2 characters who are. I can maybe including characters who are obviously in the game. I can name, but off the top of my head, I'm like, one character. The only character I can think of who I can name is Alice, and that's because she's the main character. Every other character, I'm like, if you're not in the game, every other character, I'm like, I don't know who you are.
I mean, this is my problem with this. And this is the last thing I'm going to say, Brad. It was a vehicle for his wife. So fuck all the other characters. I'm going to put Melia. She's the star of the show. Oh, Albert who? Chris Leon S. who? Fuck those guys. It's all about Alice.
You know what? There's no reason why she couldn't have played like Jill Valentine.
Yes, of course, but that would be too obvious.
No reason why she
That'd be
play Jill Valentine.
No, not at all. Exactly. I don't.
But no, they yeah.
I don't understand his logic. It worked for him. No, I've got no argument with those films because I checked out after two.
I think Resident. Yeah, well, you didn't even finish 2.
No, I didn't know.
You do with it. Was it? You know what it was? The minute Nemesis comes on screen. No, it was a little bit after Nemesis comes on screen. He was already screwing about the way they handled Nemesis, and then the minute they showed that the Nemesis creature has a love interest of fucking Alice, he was out. He walked out there. He just vanished out that cinema.
The Nemesis doesn't love anyone. It will fucking kill you.
It's the Terminator, man.
Yeah, it will fucking kill you.
Terminator.
Oh, you think you're gonna stop me? Pow! Head squashed.
You know what?
Done.
You know what? I was praying they were gonna get it right with the reboot, because after playing the recent reboot of Resi 2 on PS4, come on, man, Dolph Lundgren needs to be Mr. X.
Yeah, we got because Ken doesn't know what we're talking about now. No, I've played with it. I know what you're talking about, right? But I don't see Dolph Lundgren. He's not even in my lexicon.
Have you seen his face on the character model? It's Dolph Lundgren, man.
Yes, sir.
All right.
But yeah, the films. I mean, the films. Perfectly, you guys perfectly illustrated that they have an audience, and an audience is not the people who play those games through and through.
See, I'd understand if it was a $1 billion franchise, but it's not. You know what I mean? They never have been. The reason why they keep making them, is because it's cheap and cheerful. Like, 30 million budget, they make 100 million or less. You know what I mean? But they always make their budget back like 2-3 times over, and it's that niche kind of like, we know they're kind of trash movies, but fuck it, we're going to do it. We're just going to see how long this ride goes. You know what I mean? And they did it successfully as well, man.
If you're looking at their numbers, basically, production budget for all the movies is 292 million, but it's made 1.2 billion. So it's made almost like $1 billion profit.
Yeah. Oh, was that 200 million in total for all the movies?
292 million for 6 movies.
Yeah, that's right. Because that's just it. I mean, like, I think the first one was 30 million.
Yeah, 35, 50, 45.
Yeah,
57, 65,
so they're
40.
in that. Yeah, so they're in that 60 million ballpark kind of range, and the amount of chump change they get worldwide, they've more than doubled the budget. You know what I mean? It's profitable enough to make more. You know what I mean? No matter what the quality of the movie is, unfortunately. But then it's the horror genre. You know what I mean? That's the horror genre through and through. It's always cheap shit. And the thing is with Anderson, like most horror films, they don't keep the main star. They always rotate the cast because they keep the cost low. But because it's his wife, and she's probably getting a back end deal, same as him. You know what I mean? They're just making bare peas off of this thing. You know what I mean?
Put their kids through college.
Yeah, I'm praying.
My kid through college.
That's just it, man. So like, yeah, fair play on them for doing that. I just think Resident Evil fans have just never had any luck with these adaptations. You know, from the get go. What's really upsetting though is if you ever play that first game, it lends itself to a film adaptation straight off the bat.
Yeah, right.
You know, yeah. Well, but I'm just saying, like that's the biggest thing, because like everyone that's played it is like, why isn't this a movie? Like, why isn't it adapted like this? And it's like, yeah, it is what it is now. I've accepted it a long time ago, but it's always funny when you see a new interpretation and you're just like, how are they going to fuck this up now? It's become laughable, man. And that's just it. I'll tell you what, though. I'll take those cosplay outfits of both Leon and Claire, okay? Because because you know what? That's the that's the closest we're gonna get. All right, that's the closest we're gonna get.
They did well with the Witcher series, but who knows what they'll do with this? You know, it's just one image at the end of the day.
Yeah, I guess we'll see. Yeah,
he wasn't Leon. He was Chris Redfield.
Or was it No, it's Leon. Chris Redfield's the first game. Leon's number 2.
No. I said, did you not like Wentworth Miller playing Chris Redfield?
Who the hell is Wentworth Miller?
The guy from Prison Break.
He played Chris Redfield. Jesus, I didn't even know he was in any of the Resident Evil films. Oh wow.
Yeah, the characters are in.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't even watch Prison Break, so
I know who he's talking about.
Okay.
Wow. Okay. I mean, that guy's career hasn't gone well since Prison Break. I mean, he was in the Britney video, Prison Break, and then Resident Evil. It's a.
He's in the first Underworld film.
No way. Okay.
Then you got Prison Break.
Sorry, he was in the Mariah Carey video. Sorry. Yeah. So I'm going off the chain here. Anyway, Resident Evil's being rebooted. It looks questionable. We'll see. Anyway, on that note, we've reached the end of this podcast, and it's been an experience. Who's got something to plug? Ken, I know you have something to plug. What do you have to plug?
Yeah, you can catch pretty much all the same faces on the Creative Control podcast, where we discuss movie themes, where we want franchises to go, movie mistakes, all that kind of stuff. So you can catch us on YouTube at Creative Control, or you can catch us on any platform that does podcasting, basically. And you can follow me on Twitter at Kenan Talks Film or at Creative Control.
Yeah, and as Ken said, everywhere you find podcasts, that's pretty much the thing. You have a podcast, it goes everywhere. And yeah, you can find this podcast on in the same way. Zedos Gang, just put it into YouTube. Blah 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 blah. Any you two got anything to plug, Satch?
Everything that you and Ken just said.
Verbatim. Satch?
No, I got nothing to plug this week.
Not even ad stream.
His commissions are falling through.
If you're into retro video games, check out adstream.com. Play all your retro games streaming online. I could plug it better, but check out previous podcasts. Yeah. I'm just like, we've been talking about games.
A fan of retro games? Check out adstream.com.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, my boss is there. It's just Resident Evil really took it out of me because I just don't see any light at the end of the tunnel, man.
Yeah, we should have looked at the topics and finished on a better note.
Yeah. I'm just like, man, it's like, how hard is it to do a zombie movie? We have a mansion with like a SWAT team that go in.
Go on, Stash.
Again, it was done in.
It was
done in Spain. The Spanish did it.
I mean, sure, you got the scene with the giant shark, but that's you can cut that out, man.
You know what the fucked up thing is? Remember this, right? The Raid is Resident Evil with action instead of zombies.
Okay.
No.
Instead of a mansion, it's a tower block. But it's a team.
I'm using
into the building.
I'm using a lot of the power of imagination here.
I can't see it. I'm not biting on that.
Yeah, me trying to use the power of imagination to erase Emperor Palpatine from the whole of Rise of Skywalker.
Anyway, go watch Pig.
Yeah.
Bacon means ratatouille. Go watch.
Yeah. Okay, that's been the Zedos Game podcast, and we're out.
Go on, do it. Come on.
I am the man that killed Jamie Lannister.